Hey guys!
Hey!
We are somewhere new today. We are in England and we're going to interview Une, who is a makeup goddess, businesswoman, stay-at-home mom, amazing at everything.
And she just moved in a supremely organized fashion, and we're going to talk to her about that. So, what are we getting out of this?
We're getting amazing, tangible advice when you have little kids, when you have busy lives, and you need to move. So, listen up. So Une, you are a makeup consultant and you work from home with your 2 kids around as well, and it's amazing how you get stuff done. You just moved?
Yes.
How long ago?
3 weeks.
3 weeks ago.
Yes.
We're sitting in our home and it looks amazing.
We've come for a visit. We've spent the week here basically, and your house looks like you've been living here for years in a very good way, not in a bad way.
Exactly.
I would hope so.
Yeah. So what did you? Because you were telling us about your move and how you organized the move, and how you basically ensured that it went as smoothly as possible. So you basically got to this point as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I don't really like living in boxes or living in suitcases. I like my home to be feeling like a home and comfortable and a place that I want to be in all day, because I work from home. It has to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So I like to make a move as simple as possible and as quick as possible.
You moved before, right?
Yes.
So you got married, let me think, 8 years ago? Was that?
6.5.
Okay, 6.5 years ago, not 8. And how many times have you moved since you got married?
7.
Wow.
7 times.
In the last 6.5 years.
Yeah.
So have the moves always been organized?
No.
No.
Absolutely not. Started out with, I moved a lot before then as well. As a student and a single woman who likes to travel around the world, I moved a lot. And it was very often just throw stuff in a box, throw stuff in a bag, and move it.
So what was the difference this time around?
Well, this time around I realized I'm not just moving myself. I'm not a single person anymore. It's not all my stuff. I have to have things for the kids organized. I need to know where to find things for the kids. I need to know where to find things for my business. I need to know where things are for my living room, which I like to have as my my safe place, my quiet, calm
Comfort zone?
comfort zone.
Could be. We have a video about creating a comfort zone. Check it out.
Yeah. And that's where I actually learned about this, was from your video, comfort zone. And I realized, you know what? I've been feeling like doing this for a long time, and now I've got some extra tips and tricks to make it really a comfort zone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's made a difference.
So did you have a plan for like which rooms you wanted to have sorted first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Kids' bedroom, kitchen, living room.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. As a parent, yes, you want to spend time with your kids. You want to, you want to play with them, but you're not going to be spending 24/7 with your kids.
No.
So you also want them to be able to just kind of like entertain themselves.
Yeah.
And then you don't want all of their stuff to be in boxes. Is that kind of...
Yeah, exactly. We wanted to be able to put their stuff away quickly in an organized way so that they can find their toys, they can play with their toys, and they can put their toys away without me having to be there, because I knew that I was going to be busy unpacking boxes and getting other rooms ready. So that's where we used a couple of your videos where you talked about organizing the toys into boxes, or organizing books by colors. We started doing that, and now the kids know exactly where to put stuff. And we knew exactly where to put their toy boxes when we moved in. So that was really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the kitchen, that kind of makes sense as well. You want to be able to make sure that you don't starve.
You don't have to eat out every meal.
No, exactly. Because moving is expensive enough. Buying a house is expensive enough. So being able to cook from home and make the home your own, I feel like that happens a lot in the kitchen. Being able to, to start using your own stove and using your own everything in the kitchen just makes it feel more like home.
Couldn't agree more. Okay.
And then the living room, I guess, kind of goes hand in hand with what you were saying earlier with, you know, like having the home be a place where you actually want to spend time.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time in the living room.
We're
Yeah.
here right now in their living room.
And it looks really nice. I recognize that as well. Like that's something that I want for my home. I want to be able to be at home and feel at home and feel relaxed and feel like, you know, this is a nice space to spend my time in.
Mm-hmm.
You do spend a lot of your time at home.
Yes.
But something you mentioned earlier also about just knowing where things are, and we touched on that with the kids' toys, but just in general, I think a lot of organizing kind of like leads back to that focal point of just knowing where things are when you need them. Isn't that true?
Yeah, absolutely. So that really started when I started packing, or before I started packing. I made a plan of, I looked at the floor plan of this house, and I thought, what are the things that we already have that we can use in our home? What do we need new stuff? And then I would pack accordingly. So even if I was packing things from our living room that I knew I was going to be using in my office, I'd then pack it in a specific box for my office. So that it would go straight into my office here, and I knew where it was and what it was. So that made it a lot more simple. And I actually used color codes. So I color coded.
This is really good. You gotta listen up, guys.
I color coded each room. So I had a floor plan of the whole house. And can I grab the little sticky notes and show you guys what I used? I got one of these really cheap online.
It's not a black box.
And
there we go.
it's got all these sticky notes in. So I assigned each room a color. And then on my little floor plan, I put the colors, I put one sticky note on each room so that I knew what I was packing, you know, what color goes in which room. And then I would take one of these and just tape it to the boxes, to the top or the side of the boxes, so that I knew where to put it, and so that the people helping us move also knew where to put things.
Which is amazing, because people usually just write on the box like kitchen, living room with like a black marker. This way you can see it at a glance. Oh, that's pink, goes here. Oh, green goes there. So smart.
Yeah.
So smart.
Very, very like visual as well. I love it.
It was fun, because I used to do the writing on the boxes, which is a great thing to do. But when you've moved 7 times, you've got a lot of writing on those boxes. And sometimes, you know, you write kitchen and then you forget to write what's in the box.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I did. I put the sticker on there for which room it goes in, and then I wrote on it what is inside. So then when we got in here, I knew where to find what I needed.
And that's it. I mean, you're making it foolproof for yourself, but you're also kind of cueing everybody else in on, okay, you know, so you're not the only person that's moving, fortunately.
Thankfully.
and you're also not the only person that's, you know, using and enjoying this space. So while you're in the process of moving and getting unpacked and then starting to use and get a feel for the house, it's like you're not just living in your own little world, but you're making it easier for people to help you with that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that we try to emphasize, but I think it's not necessarily intuitive. I think it's very easy to, like, when you're trying to organize, when you're trying to make it easier for yourself, whether it's moving or just day-to-day life, like it's so easy to just kind of like, you know, put your head down and try to power through, when I think if you take a step back and you think, okay, how can we make this easier for other people to help us, that you get a lot further with a lot less effort.
Yeah.
Do it smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
It's a good thing.
And the thing is, with the moving, like picking a box up and then moving it, it's pretty simple. The hard parts I found with this system was how to get people to help packing, because I can't give people a box and say, you know, go put whatever you find in there, because I wanted to know where it goes. But what I would do was I would fold get some boxes ready, and I'd put a sticker on it, and then I would hand that to the person and say, I'd hand it to the kids, and I'd say, go put all your books in these boxes. So it made it really simple, and the kids actually did a lot of their own toy packing, which was easy because I would just them the boxes that were already marked, and they would just do it.
Yeah.
And the same with Josh and everyone, you know, my husband and anyone else who came to help. I could just hand them a box. You know, this is for your, you know, games and DVDs and things, and then that goes straight into his media room.
I think that's I'm quite curious about like how you arrived at that point, because I think that's not obvious, and maybe a lot of that comes from just having moved so many times. But I think there's also a lot of like, you know, kind of analytical thinking that like goes into just understanding that, hey, this is something that would help in the preparation for the move.
Yeah.
How did you arrive at that point?
You know what? It was actually a lot of experience moving and realizing what doesn't work.
Yes.
And then a lot of just digging through ideas on the internet, looking through videos and, you know, scrolling on Pinterest, stuff like that, just looking through ideas, other people's ideas, and then kind of modifying them so they work for me.
Yeah.
So just taking other people's knowledge and using that.
So you'd say like taking a step back and
Yes.
using a little bit of time to like do some detective work and research things before you like dive in.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
And how does that compare to previous moves? Like, how would you say that paid off, or did it pay off in terms of the time you invested throughout the whole process?
Absolutely. One good example of that is packing all of our things that we have hung up in our closet, because we like to have everything on a hanger. Most of our clothes are on a hanger in a closet as opposed to in a drawer. And that's just, it's hard work taking everything off a hanger, folding it, putting it in a box or rolling it up. And you don't want to just like throw it in a box and then have it all, you just want to have it like be
I feel your pain. Yes.
organized. So one of the tips that I found was taking a black plastic bag and putting it around a bunch of clothes with the hanger and tying it around the top.
Yeah.
Where the hook comes out, you just tie it around the top, and then you just grab the whole lot, put it in a van, and then hang it back up. Much cheaper than buying a coat hanger box online, which they're super expensive and really, really fast.
Yeah, that sounds really easy.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So there's all sorts of tips like that. Using boxes at home, like, I don't know if, can we see this?
I think you see just a little bit of it.
Just a little bit. Stuff like this for the kids' toys. A lot of their toys we didn't even have to pack because they were already in boxes and we already knew where to put them once we were in the house.
Nice.
So things like that have helped out a lot. Just, having everything organized beforehand. And yeah, just picking up tips and tricks.
Going back to your business, so you've got a makeup consultancy of sorts, and that that requires a lot of discipline and organization in terms of just keeping that ball rolling, especially I imagine while you're in the middle of a move with your whole family. How did you make sure that went as seamlessly as possible?
That's a good question. It's really getting into a routine and having knowing what you need to get done in your business and what is kind of like a bonus, like bonus things that you can get done, but maybe you don't have to get them done right now while you're doing the move. So organizing your time, making sure that when the kids are at school, I'm getting my work done. When they're at home, I'm getting packing done and they can help me out because they love to get stuff and put it in a box.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people I think would maybe do the packing while the kids are away because it's more simple. But once they get to, they're 3 and 5, they can help out a lot.
Yeah. Oh, it's really important to allow your kids to help out when they're able to. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, they're kids, they shouldn't help. But really, they can help from when they're like toddlers.
Yeah.
And
smaller things.
And you can make it quality time. Like that's, I think that's something that you don't want to have that like pit in your stomach where you feel like I have to choose between doing what I need to do, doing what I'm passionate about and building a business versus spending time with my kids.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, you do have to separate it in some cases, but I think with a little bit of forethought and creativity, you know, you can include the kids and you can spend time with your kids doing something productive and also helping them prepare for, you know, to develop skills that will be useful for them later on in life.
Yeah, and help them know that it's a family effort. It's not just mom's or dad's job, it's the family's job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, you told us about this move, and it was very, very well planned and organized, and then the actual execution of it didn't go exactly as planned. Is that true?
No, it was.
What went wrong?
It was a little bit of a disaster on moving day. We had rented a van, and we had people helping out on both ends because there was quite a bit of different distance. There's quite a bit of distance between where we lived before and where we live now. So we did get a lot of help moving out, and then we got some help moving our boxes out of the van and into our new house. But then there was an injury, there were some plans that, you know, people had made some plans that kind of collided with the time frame that we had to move. So we ended up having my husband and one other guy carrying a lot of the stuff out of the van into the house. So the room that we're sitting in right now, when I arrived in the evening, we couldn't walk in because it was just packed full of things, sofas, boxes, furniture, stuff that, you know, had been labeled and should have gone into a specific room, but it was all piled in here because
of necessity.
It was just lack of time and things like that. And then those things happen and you can't really control it all. But it definitely wasn't the end of the world.
No.
It was actually, I mean, at that point I was very, very grateful that I had made things organized.
Yeah, and you said something about, like, before the next day was over, the weekend was over, everything was in the right room.
It was actually that same night.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
We called, at that point, we called our, my husband's parents. We asked them if the kids could stay over because it was just not safe bringing the kids here with boxes piled this high.
I'm sure they would have loved it.
They would have loved it. I would have probably had a heart attack. So we did continue to get help, and the kids were able to stay over and have a sleepover, which was great. But that evening, we just took boxes from, you know, just starting at the door, working our way into the room, taking boxes and moving them into the room they were supposed to be. And it took one night. And that evening, we got the kids' room ready. And, you know, everything where it needed to be, the bed set up for the next day, and we got everything in the room it was supposed to go into.
Wow.
So we slept on a mattress on the floor, but I think we did good.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I'm
Yeah.
impressed.
So is there anything else that we haven't touched on? Something that you would like to share with our audience on how to make your move with kids and running a business or having a busy life as easy as possible?
One more thing that I can think of right now is when you then get help from the outside, you know, from people, from family and friends, make them aware of what systems you have in place. Tell them about the stickers on the boxes, show them the floor plan, you know, so that they know. What we did was we hung up a picture of the floor plan and the color scheme by the front door and upstairs so that people knew. And for the most part that worked out great. Yeah. Except for that, you know,
The last haul.
the last haul.
So I've helped a lot of people move throughout the years, and if I come into a home and I'm helping someone move and they have a plan of attack, they've already, you know, put some thought into planning the whole thing, that's like a freaking feast for me. So I can imagine that, you know, because you don't want to come into a house and see that like everything's still a mess and half the stuff hasn't been packed yet, and that's happened as well.
Yeah.
So I think that, I mean, if you want to ensure that the move is successful and as fluid as possible, then I mean it's good for you, but it's also something that I think people would appreciate when they come and help you out.
Yeah, and to be honest, I didn't feel as prepared as I wanted to be, because when people came to help, I mean, we still had coats that needed to be put into boxes. We had a little thing at the kids' school. They wanted to say goodbye, which I didn't have in my schedule for the day. So I was about half an hour behind schedule that day. But it made a huge difference when people came over that there were boxes for them to take out straight away.
Yeah.
There were 99.9% of everything was packed. And then we got all the cleaning done while the guys were moving. I got all the cleaning done with the help of some lovely ladies, some wonderful friends.
Yeah.
And so we were able to hand in the keys the next day.
I think it's amazing. Like you can be amazing planners. You can have it all planned out, and things are gonna pop up, like an event that you had completely forgotten about, or like the boxes just kind of need to come in towards the end, or people get injured. Like things are gonna come up. They always do.
Mm-hmm.
But the more prepared you are, the more planned out you are beforehand, the less it's gonna matter. Those small things pop up, and you're still gonna be able to scoot through it and like be victorious at the end of the day.
Being a half an hour behind schedule and then having the injury and other things that didn't go exactly according to plan or as great as we expected, those were the moments where I was especially thankful that we did have the organization behind our move that we had.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us and to share your awesome insights with us.
Yeah.
We've moved a number of times,
yes,
but I feel like this has given us more insight for our next move.
Yeah, I'm excited to move again. Let's buy a new house.
Let's not yet at least. But you guys probably also have cool moving tips, so share those in the comments below. If you're looking for makeup,
she's your gal.
Either actual physical makeup or makeup tips and tricks, then check out Unna's business, link in the description below. And if you like the video, if you like the content, please consider liking the video also below and subscribing for more content like this.
And share this video with people who are moving.
Yeah.
They need this.
Yeah, they do. Anything else? Nope. See you next week.
See you next week. It's recording. Let's start this so that we can finish and go to bed.
Okay.